If you were with us last hour, you saw Mary. Mary had a great hour for you. We now start at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we broadcast live up until 12 midnight East Coast time every single day. This is the Roomba i6 Wi-Fi robot. And it gets a little confusing because vacuum cleaner manufacturers love letters and numbers together. They all do it. But at one point, the single most popular robotic vacuum was the 600 series from our friends at Roomba and iRobot. This is a different vacuum. This vacuum has some features that even the best-selling vacuum in the robotics world had never had. One of them is that this is Wi-Fi enabled and super easy to do. We've got it at a sale price that is well under retail value. We're at $379.98. The normal comparable retail value on this vacuum is $583.33. This is one of their top of the line in the new technology. This particular series, again, they call the i6, does some things that are really, really cool. One of them is if you've got a large house and you've got about 70 to 75 minutes of runtime on this thing, which I think is really impressive. It finds its way back to its own docking station. It knows when it's running out of battery, so before it does so, it will scamper back, link itself back into its own docking module, and recharge itself. Then once it recharges itself, like me taking a nap on the couch halfway through the to-do list, it'll go right back and pick up exactly where it was before. The older model would just start the process again. This doesn't. So your entire house can be clean without any worry whatsoever. Here's another thing. That Wi-Fi enablement, you're going to link it to your cell phone or to your tablet or to your computer, and that's free of charge. You can now then activate your robot 3 different ways. It used to be that you would have to reach down and push the button. No, we have become much lazier than that. I started the show by laying on the couch, right? You can still push the button, or you can use your app to turn your robot vacuum on from anywhere. So let's say you're going to be coming home and you know that someone's going to be coming home just a few minutes after you arrive. A neighbor is stopping by, a friend, people are gathering together once again. Well, in this case, you can dial up your robot and tell it to start cleaning the house before you even get there. And unlike your children, this listens when you ask it to do something, okay? The third way of doing it is its voice activation through Alexa or Google. So if you've got Google Home, you can literally lay on the couch, or if you're physically impaired, not have to get up, not have to move, and tell your iRobot to clean your home. Now, those are only just a few of the features. We're going to delve deep into this. By the way, look at where this is. It's getting underneath that table where I can tell you that table, although it's not very big, this thing weighs a lot. I mean, it is a heavy table. You would have to move that whole table, move the sofa to get it clean, but not with the iRobot. With a Roomba, it gets into places that we don't normally vacuum. And let's talk money for just a second. How much are people paying today in our current marketplace for a really good vacuum? $300, $400, $500, $600. There are vacuum cleaners out there that are $700 and $800, and you still have to push them. This is more than just a sweeper. There's a difference between a sweeper and a vacuum. A sweeper only has bristles to eject dirt into a cup. This is a true vacuum model, and the suction is up to 10 times stronger than the 600 series. I want to introduce you to a friend. She is the true expert. She's broadcasting live from her home. Amy D'Angelo via Skype. How are you? See, you're working hard just like I was at the beginning of the show.
I am. Dan, you said that you like this because unlike your children, it listens.
Yeah.
It also doesn't talk back,
Yeah.
which I love. But as you said before, it's as easy as using your finger and once to wake it up and a second time just to turn it on, and it is going to go on its mission. But it is so smart. It does all the thinking for you. And not only that, it gives you time back in your life. In my case, I'm an avid tennis player, so it gives me that time to go out and play tennis and not have to be home pushing a vacuum. And not only that, when I'm pushing that vacuum, I never remember where I left off if the phone rings or the doorbell rings. I have to then remember. Not with Roomba. It comes back if it needs to be recharged to exactly where you left off. And that's what I love. It does everything for you.
Yeah, again, it really is like having a housekeeper at your disposal
Yeah.
all the time. And this really is the first iRobot Roomba designed for all over house cleaning. It is designed for every type of flooring surface. It is intelligent enough to know if there's an electrical cord in front of it. It works itself around obstacles like furniture. If you've got it at a stairwell, it's smart enough where it will not fall down the stairs. You can actually now program it to have areas of your house that if you do not wish it to go in there, you tell it once and it listens. It's the most well-behaved resident of your home, and it does a tremendous job. I want to do a demonstration out here on the front, and I want to show you how big the canister is. And you'll look at it and you go, wow, that's not that big. No, it is. In the world of robotic vacuums, it definitely is, okay? That is a completely empty canister. I'm gonna take it, put it in here like this, close it up. There you go. When you hear music, it means it's about to go, okay? Now, we purposely sectioned off a small box. I want you to look at this carpet and tell me if it looks clean. Yeah, it looks really clean. Well, I'm just gonna let it go and do its thing for a few minutes, and we're gonna come back and you're gonna be absolutely amazed at what it picks up. Because if you've got pets, it is the perfect vacuum. My boss, Chance, you just said, and I missed it. Where are we going? Okay, here, let me turn this on. Give it a second. Look at all the
And
pet
Dan,
hair.
that carpet's dirty.
Yeah, oh yeah. The one that you're looking at right now, we've got all kinds of pet hair. And watch, I'm just gonna step back and walk away from it and just let it do its thing. Now, you'll be impressed that it gets every speck of that dark pet hair off of that light colored carpet. But I'll be honest, this is a demonstration that'll blow you away. Because you'll be amazed at what it pulled out of a carpet that you thought was clean. Amy, they call it housework for a reason. It's work. It doesn't have to be. You can come home to a clean house every single day now.
You can. And Dan, I love that. I love the fact that you can just touch a button on your robot. You can use your smartphone. You can ask Alexa or Google Assistant, and it just does it for you. Because our time is so precious, and to be able to get that time back in our life is really amazing. And it's such like a nice little added bonus. But this unit is so unique because we have 3-stage cleaning. And that is what makes iRobot so special. You have your edge sweeping brush right here, and that is what is going to allow a round vacuum to get into square corners and around all the feet of your furniture and your baseboards. And you've got that 10 times suction of the 600 series, which will pull all of that dirt up. But those two multi-surface rubber brushes are going to lift and loosen all of that dirt and debris from your carpet fibers, things you can see and the things you can't see, which is really the scary part. And it is going to put it right into that collection bin. But look at how nicely it gets into that corner and cleans all those spots that normally you'd have to get down on your hands and knees to get under the furniture.
Yeah.
And you're reaching and struggling and hoping you get it all. And most of the time you don't. And this is so gross. And I saved this to show you. But this is a full-size Ziploc bag filled from the very first time I used my robot. And it went under everywhere and in places I thought were clean. But my house wasn't as clean as I thought. And I am a true believer in allowing this to do the work for you.
Well, you and I have known each other for a long time. I'm a germaphobe, I'm OCD. I like things extremely clean in my home. This does it for you. Watch this. Again, this is what other vacuums might have missed, okay?
And that was on a carpet that was clean. I would have sat on that carpet on the floor and not given it a second thought, Dan.
Tom, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I'm sorry,
There's a
it's right
little,
there.
there it is.
That's my apology. The older unit had a different method. Look at what came out of there. One of those
Yeah.
items that came out of there could have been the wife's earring. So that's kind of nice that that's retrieved as well. But it's all this dander and dirt that wears a carpet down. And now you've got a vacuum that's going to clean it up without you having to do any of the work. Take a look at some videotape that Amy shot a while back, giving an idea of how well this does its job.
So, Dan, I actually left to go play tennis. So I started my Roomba. Everyone names theirs. A lot of people like the name Rosie because of the Jetsons, but
Yeah.
we call ours Lola. So Lola went out to clean that day for me, and I was playing tennis and I was meeting my friends, and I had a great time. But when I came home, I didn't have to pull out that vacuum. Why? Because Roomba had done it all for me. It got under all the furniture, it got into all the corners, and it got all of that dirt and debris. Like you, I'm a germaphobe, that I can and can't see. And I've got a pet, and he leaves fur everywhere. So it's nice to know it's getting all of that dirt and dander. And your filter is going to help eliminate putting all of that, dust back out into the world, into your home's environment. And it's going to capture 99% of all of those pet allergens that you've got in your home. But again, they get buried in. My dad's 91
Yep.
and he loves his Roomba, but he likes to use his finger to just turn it on
Yep.
and then listen for that ding ding, and off it goes. And he cleans it with his cat and dog every day. And it is just that simple. And then he can sit down and relax and enjoy the time that he wants to with his friends or family.
It is actually intelligent enough that it can sense when there's more dirt in one area than another. When you've got a high
Yeah.
traffic area, it actually has sensors that pick up the sound of dirt being hit by the rotating brush and the beater bar. So when it senses that there's more dirt, it increases its own suction power or gives itself more opportunities to make more passes so that everything's very clean. It's funny, you were talking about Rosie. Rosie was the robotic maid on the cartoon for the Jeffersons. Rosie would not have been a fan of Roomba because it would have put Rosie out of work.
Out of work, it would have.
Yeah.
But again, Dan, it is that easy to clean. Either use your finger and turn it on.
Yep.
You can use your smartphone or tablet. I've got mine here. And you can also use Google or Alexa. Now, actually, I think we've got a picture of my home that I would love to show you. It's a map of my home because every time it goes out on a mission, and you can see that's the outline of my home, it makes sure it gets everything and it doesn't stop until it does. And that particular day, there's one room, the office, that's white. I was filming in there. I had stuff everywhere. So I asked it not to go into that room. So it didn't. And it showed me the map of what it cleaned. So I can see that every area in my home, except for those red zones, which are keep out zones,
Yep.
it cleaned for me. But that's what I love. You don't have to micromanage. You can very easily just go onto your app if you like, and you can say clean here and here, or you can just hit the button and have it clean your entire home. But it is that simple to operate. No micromanaging. You get time back in your life, and it is truly a smart vacuum, and it does everything for you.
So
If it could dust for me, it'd be better.
Yeah, I agree. Some people might remember the old Roomba, and I'm pointing down to the floor where you used to have to put up these pillars somewhere as a keep out barrier. You don't have to do that anymore. It is a smart enough machine that it knows what you want and how to do it. I've got one here on a stairwell. It will not fall off this stairwell. This is a robotics company. They are the #1 robotic vacuum manufacturer anywhere. And that's according to the NPD Retail Tracking Group. Again, #1 in sales, in units, and also in dollars sold for the 12-month period ending in December of last year. So they know what they're doing. And it doesn't matter what the floor surface is. Now, I've got such a big studio in here that if I were to just let it go, you'd see it, but I like to be able to build these little areas that make it easier to show you the different floors. So we set up a mini house, and we'll let this run. This has something called smart